Hey, what's up, guys?
What's good? This is Michael.
And this is Chloe. Welcome to our podcast.
We're here to help you find your passions, discover more of who you are, and build an authentic community for us millennials and youngins.
So come chill out with us and let's keep it
Hunnit Ten. Hello everyone, welcome to yet again another episode of the Hunnit Ten podcast.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going? So let's start it off per usual with our high-low segment. Chloe, what's been a high for you?
It was just so mad just having the fam come up for dinner.
Yeah.
It was one night we all had dinner and
was-
I just felt so proud to be a part of our family that
was awesome.
night.
And what about on the flip side, a low for you?
Some of my friends don't let me use this word, but quarter life crisis. They're just like, you can't use that word.
I mean, I never heard of that one before, man.
I guess one of my lows this week have been just not knowing exactly where I want to go or what I'm doing, just second guessing everything, you know. So that's been a bit confusing for me, but I know that this is just a part of the process.
Yes.
It's what we talked about in one of our last podcasts.
Yes, the last podcast.
I guess my one thing from last week was living in the now, just
Yeah.
embracing the now with the good, bad, and the ugly.
It's crazy because like that's totally applies to like your week
Yeah,
this week. So I think stick through it, man.
that's sweet. Thanks,
Yeah.
man. How about you?
For me, a high has been Chloe has signed me and two of my siblings up to the local gym. So we've just been going, chilling, you know, balling, playing table tennis, you know, pulling every muscle in our body. But hey, it was really good. It was really good bonding time because like we're not very active here. We're just chilling, kind of like really slow. We don't do much, but like
life.
yeah, sloth life. But it was good, just like getting some exercise in, you know, bit of competition here and there. So it was really good, man. I think that's been the highlight of my week. And a low for me was just, I think just like really weird ass sleep.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah, like sleeping at just messed up times. That's kind of been tough, but you know, it's all part of the process as well. Yeah, let's get on with our next segment, which is
Quote of the day.
What's the quote, Chloe?
Our quote today is by a guy called Robin Sharma.
Shout out.
Robin Sharma says, "Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life."
True. What's that mean to you?
I guess sometimes I reckon it could be really easier to get caught in the rut, just caught in the system, or just
Going with the flow type thing?
That's it. Just
Yeah.
living, just waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, going to work, coming home, watching Netflix, going to bed.
Yeah.
Waking up the next morning, brushing your teeth, and repeat.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, repeat.
Yeah.
And then calling it a life.
Yikes.
It sounds more like existing.
I think that's the hard hitting part, is calling it a life.
Yeah.
I think that's the conflicting part,
Yeah.
because that's up to you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What we say, that's just existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that actually. But we were talking about kind of what was it? Being alive versus actually living life.
Yeah.
And the difference in that is being alive is kind of just existing, but living life, and what this quote means for me is maximization.
That's cool. Like the word maximize for me reminds me of thriving.
Right.
Not just surviving, but
Yeah.
actually thriving and growing and discovering more of who you are and doing the things that bring you to life rather than just doing the same old, whether it's going to school or going to work and just coming home. And
I mean, like, and that's what kind of where we got out the name for this podcast too, initially, right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like
yeah.
keeping it 110%. And that's about maximization. So I'm glad we can talk about this today, man.
I guess, like, was there ever a time in your life where you felt like you were kind of, you know, just going through the motions?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's the irony of my undergrad, like at uni for me.
Yeah.
It's because I was studying music in pursuit of music, but I ended up letting the academia of music take over the practicality of it. So instead of actually working on my craft, I was just writing essays and I was just, you know, doing commission compositions, doing research, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That I grew very distant from my craft on a practical sense. but I was just living in the academia of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like almost like no questions asked. I just got to do what I got to do, sort of thing.
Right.
I think that's when I was kind of living in the emotions, man.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I wanted to do. And that's the irony of uni for me is I went to study music in pursuit of music. But instead of actually doing music, I was just writing about it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look back, do you regret doing your degree in any way?
Not at all. I mean, I talked about this on my other podcast too. Our episode 5 was actually called "Are Degrees Worth It?"
Yeah.
There's some priceless experiences from undergrad, and I'm not talking about the piece of paper and the handshake you get at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like you meet people, and you told me this as well. You know, you get connections, you meet people, but I think what's really valuable about the uni life is like almost like you feel like you kind of grow up a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like for me that was my teen to adult transition phase, and it wouldn't have been as smooth, I guess, if I wasn't, you know, studying in uni.
That's incredible.
There's just like a lot of life lessons. I know this is like it's like, bro, it's just university and stuff, but you know, if you actually like look back and reflect on it, it's like there's some priceless lessons learnt.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you feel like you've learnt some priceless lessons through even just going through the motions.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky this time because it's not always beneficial.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's just the nature of getting an education.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And what about you? Have you ever just been through, like, going with the flow, been through the motion type thing?
Yeah, well, this might sound weird, but I reckon recently.
Recently?
Yeah.
How recent?
I don't know, I guess maybe the past couple months.
Yeah.
Just working, coming home, working, coming home.
Right.
And I think it's odd because I'm not usually this type of person, but I've been mixing it up. I've been trying to, you know, go home a different way, you know, just little things like that, just trying to mix it up. And actually, you know, last week to break it up, it was amazing. So I just went out to the beach and went down to South Maroubra, found a hiking track, and I just walked. Hiking sounds like intense. It was just like a walk.
Isn't hiking pretty much walking anyway?
I guess so.
Walking up a hill?
Yeah. It was a little hilly. So I found a random track and I just followed it to the next beach. I just chilled out on the beach and then I met a cat on the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was sick. Yeah, so I think it was just mixing it up a bit.
It's good.
It was really cool.
I think you need that because if you guys don't know, like Chloe's the spontaneous one.
Yeah.
She likes to do random stuff at random ass times.
I love exploring.
With no notice. It's hard for me to come along sometimes, man. The no notice part. But yeah, I think it's really good that you're switching stuff up because it's like kind of innate to your character actually.
Yeah.
From day one. It's
interesting because I think a lot of this year I did feel like I was just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And it's not the greatest feeling.
No.
I know it's very easy to fall into that trap because after work you're tired and you kind of just want to be at home and watch Netflix.
Just want to chill.
And then you go to sleep and then next day you got work. But it doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
Whether it means waking up half an hour earlier to see the sunrise. Or hit the gym.
Yeah.
Or finding another route home.
So are you saying that we have a choice?
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, boy.
That's the one, man. I think that's the tough part. It's so easy to justify.
Yeah.
Like you said, like...
I got no time for that.
Yeah, I ain't got no time for that. Like, I just came back from work. I'm tired. I'm flustered, you know.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, like, legit. And it's easy to justify, man. But, like, having a choice, sometimes, like, I feel conflicted. I'm like, I just pretend that I don't got no choice.
Because that means you're not responsible for your life.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? And because sometimes taking responsibility, bro, it could be, like, a scary thing.
Yeah.
But I think, like, it's so easy to justify. I think that's the dangers of this.
Yeah.
I think that's the power of this quote.
Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. What do you think makes responsibility scary?
I think you gotta step up. And if you mess up, it's on you. Yeah, the wins are on you, but the losses are on you.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it's just scary to take that chance.
Yeah.
You know, I think... And another thing is, like, it's almost like not taking responsibility is so much easier than taking responsibility. And everyone wants an easy way out. But that's not what's gonna, like, be beneficial to you in the long term. You know, although it could be really scary in the moment.
To take responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I was talking about on last episode of my other podcast too, is like there was a fire next to Lidcombe Library. It started smoking.
No way.
I was like, oh man, there's a fire. But I was like, yo, I don't want to do anything.
Oh no.
I walked away. And then while I was walking away, it kept staying on my mind. I'm like, nah, I got to go back. I got to do something. I went there.
Yeah.
The smoke was now a small fire. I'm like, yo,
gosh.
no, someone else will see, screw this.
Was this just outside?
Yeah, outside the library. I'm like, someone else will see, screw this. I'm not going to do nothing.
Right.
I walk back. I'm like, you know what? This might be really bad. It might burn the building down. And then I went back and it was kind of like going crazy and stuff. I put on my phone to call the fire brigade, but then all the local shop owners were coming with fire extinguishers and putting it out. And it's like, it's just a fire, dude. And I knew it was gonna escalate.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna get out of hand sooner or later. But I was just like, yo,
it's like, I don't want to take part of that. I did not start that.
Like, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just easier.
Man, but then I guess like it's crazy how you said that you walked away, but you turned back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think even with taking responsibility for your life and your choices of every day, like maybe it is easier, and I say that with quotation marks,
yes,
to not take responsibility for your life, because it means you don't have to own any of your decisions. But I reckon if we kept going down that path, that easier path, I reckon you'd feel that discomfort, because you'd literally just look back 75 years later and be like, damn, like I wish I had actually invested more into my friends. Damn, like I don't have many friends, or damn, like I've always lived for other people. Or I've never actually said what I felt, like I was always pleasing people. Damn. You know, and it's like, no, we can actually take responsibility.
That's true.
And back ourselves.
That's true.
And do things differently.
I think that's the power of this quote. And it's conflicting. It's empowering. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But it's also conflicting. Yeah. You know, because if you feel a sharp pain listening to, you know, a very fruitful quote, you know, it means that it's kind of on your conscience. And for this one, it kind of hits me because I'm not in like the craziest place. I'm kind of in emotions right now because I'm looking for jobs. And besides that, no responsibilities, you know? So my day, I don't know what to do with my days. I think it's conflicting right now because I'm not really maximizing right now. Right. I'm thinking about it. I'm dreaming about it. Yeah. And I'm working towards it slowly. Yeah. But I think that's why there's this sharp pain in my chest because it's like, damn, this one gets me.
Right. Yeah. But I think even that's really cool. Like, I know that it's easy to go from 0 to 100. It's like, oh, like we have to like maximize every day. But it's like, that would be cool, but we're also human.
That's it.
Like, we need nights to just Netflix and chill. Like, we need days to just eat chicken and ice cream and not do anything.
But chicken and ice cream together?
Yeah, nah.
Chicken and then ice cream. Don't get it twisted, guys. Nah. Yeah, you're right, though.
Yeah, and I guess, like, maximizing your life doesn't have to look like
grinding every day.
Like, it can look like little things, like popping in those job applications, going out to the gym.
Or even just, like, mindset. Working on your mindset.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's actually everything.
I think that's what I'm trying to mold right now.
I love that.
Yeah, just while things aren't very, like, looking very hot.
That's your foundation.
Is it?
That's sick.
Apparently so, yeah.
That kind of just hit home.
I'm glad.
Because I think that's something I've been thinking about for myself while I'm going through the motions. Just knowing that changing jobs or changing cities is not going to fix anything. Yeah, it's internal. I have to actually fix my thoughts.
Yikes.
And work on that little construction site. But that's a whole nother can of worms.
True, there's a lot of can of worms up in here, man.
Yeah.
With that being said, how about we move on to our one thing segment, which is...
What is one thing you do that makes you feel alive?
Alive. Makes you feel alive.
Alive.
So how you gonna tackle this one, Chloe? What's the go?
There are lots of things that make me feel alive, but if I were to pinpoint one of the greatest things, I think it's human connection. Yeah. That sounds very like scientific.
That sounds like you though.
Homo sapien connection. And I think it's because I'm someone that has experienced deep isolation and it kills ya. Damn. It's comforting if you're dysfunctional. Like, I was very comfortable in my dysfunction and very comfortable in isolation. We talked about this in episode 1.
Yeah. Shout out.
Shout out. But yeah, I really value human connection, and I really believe that as humans, we all thrive when we understand that we are loved and known. That's behind the screens and the filters, when we know that someone actually sees me for who I am and wants to know me and loves me despite whatever. We thrive.
There's a kind of confidence that comes from that.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, I think I talked about this before. I don't know when, but like, a lot of my confidence comes from just knowing that I got people that love me, and that feeling is super powerful. And I think a lot of people might be lacking that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because they're not getting enough love, if it's a perspective thing,
Yeah.
or if they're just like, if they're stingy about it or something. But a lot of people are a lot more loved than they feel. So it could be like a perspective thing. It could be the flip side too. You know, people aren't getting enough love, and that's why they're feeling that way. But I think connecting with people, especially my close friends, just spending time, and even when we're not spending time, I think this is the real value in our relationship, is like, I still have that confidence right now, for example, or tomorrow, at all times, because I know these guys got my back. You know, and I think there's this importance in that, and that a lot of kids these days, I really hope that they have people like that in their lives who can give them confidence, whether they're with them or without.
That's really cool. But you know how you mentioned before that sometimes, like, you are loved, but you might not know it? And I think it's interesting because we all give and receive and feel loved in different ways.
Yes.
I think you're right. Like, maybe people are loved, but if they don't receive it in a way that makes them understand, wow, like, I am loved, I think it can be quite isolating. Like, you can feel isolated and unloved.
For sure.
And so I guess that's why one thing that really brings me to life is that connection, just really getting to know people for who they are.
Yes.
Obviously you can't do that with everyone.
True.
When we're human, like, we can't.
Yeah, I think you're kind of made for that too. And that's my kind of one thing. I feel like people feel alive. Well, I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but I feel alive when I'm doing what I'm made for.
Yeah.
Like, not what I'm called to do, but my calling. Do you know what I mean?
No, not really.
So if you, like, let's just say called to do as in, like, you're called in for work. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. Yeah.
Not just that.
Yeah.
But your actual calling. What you're made to do.
Cool.
I think that's when maximization happens.
Yeah.
Especially mentally.
Yeah.
Because there's fulfillment in doing stuff that you're made for. That's really unlike any other fulfillment in this world.
Yeah.
And I think that feeling alone is just so important to know, and it's important to work towards. I think that's what real maximization looks like, whether you're getting results or not, whether you're progressing slowly, quickly, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that you're doing what you're made for.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like working on my artistry, working on my compositions, on my production, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been hard lately because of technical difficulties, but I've been trying my best to work around that.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I do that makes me feel alive is just doing what I'm made for, which is like what I said, work on my artistry.
Love it.
And I think it's important for people to find that one thing for them too. This is the whole living versus being alive thing.
Yes.
Like living life versus just being alive. I think it's important not to just watch the days go by, the years go by, and just call it a life. You know, I think it's really important to find fulfillment in your life by doing what you're made for, living out your calling. I think that's what maximization, that's what that quote means to me.
Yeah, that's sick. That's so cool. What would you say for people who might not know what they like or love? What are some suggestions?
So here's a suggestion. Listen to our podcast about values and priorities. I think there's always a way to find out more about yourself. Yeah. I think it's an investment. It's just like investing in a friend.
Yes.
You meet them the first time. You don't know nothing about them. All you know is their name. But you start chilling, spending more time, you kick back, all that kind of stuff. And you find out more about the personality, character, their likes, dislikes, whatever. It's the same with your relationship with self. It's just, it's not as concrete because we're our own entity. Yeah. We're not engaging with another person. Yeah. And I think this is when self-reflection comes into play. That's cool. Right? Yeah. Because you gotta, like, this might sound like weird, crazy or whatever, but you gotta have some conversations with yourself. Yeah. Ask yourself some difficult questions. Make sure you're thinking about the right stuff. Yes. That's not great. Just like uni or workload or whatever, but like, some really important stuff. And I think that's where it all starts, is by like knowing yourself in order to love yourself.
That's sick.
And I think that's when you can really find what you're made for.
That's great. And I guess maybe some of the questions that you could ask yourself, or I sometimes ask myself, is questions like, what matters to me?
You know what I love asking myself?
What?
Why am I mad right now?
Why am I mad right now?
Because emotions are so like stagnant. Sometimes I just snap, and I gotta actually ask myself like, yo, why am I mad right now? And then it reveals a lot about myself to me, about situations, about how you react to certain things. I think these kinds of questions, Chloe, that's where it's at, man.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And I reckon anger is one of the most valuable emotions ever. Because behind anger is so much.
Yeah.
So much. Whether it's passion, whether it's pain, whether it's shame or fear. Like, I think it's so, so, so important not to feel guilty for feeling angry. But yeah, like you said, asking yourself, why am I mad?
Yeah, why am I really mad?
Yeah, what's making me mad behind the layers?
Yeah.
And I guess maybe on a more practical note, something that I found really helpful lately is just YouTube. Like, I know that maybe to discover whether you like floristry, you don't have to enroll in a TAFE course straight away to see if you like it or not.
Suss it out.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah. You can just see other florists who have made it, or even just watch YouTube videos of people who are doing the course at TAFE just to see their experience of it. And that goes to anything else as well. And
for sure.
I think there are some online sites like Skillshare, and what's the other one that...
Masterclass.
Yeah, Masterclass. Yeah, so they've got masterclasses. So there are lots of different ways that you can practically suss out what you might enjoy.
Yeah.
Like a new hobby that you could pick up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to get piano lessons or guitar lessons straight away. Just go on YouTube.
That's true. I mean, but the other thing is you kind of need that personal experience with it.
Yeah.
So like maybe check out stuff online, stuff that pique your interest.
Yes.
But you're going to have to delve into it to find out for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's awesome. And that leads us to our Nugget of the Day. Yeehaw! Which is...
Life is short.
True.
Time is valuable.
True.
So do what brings you to life. And
that
do
is very
more
true.
of it.
Yeah. Every day. Don't live the same year 75 times. Call it a life.
Yeah, it is so short, and time is literally so valuable.
That's true.
We're all called to do something.
For sure. 100, bro.
Find what you're made to do and be intentional about it.
That's it, man. That's cool. I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Everybody, it has been episode 5 of the Hunnit Ten podcast. And today we talked about maximization of your life, taking responsibility of your life, understanding that time is a very valuable asset, and that we need to live out what we're made to live for. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It has been episode 5 of the Hunnit Ten podcast, and we out.
Later.